Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Bettina's Buzz here on SantaCruzVoice.com. I'm always thrilled, very thrilled to be sharing my Saturday morning with you here at CTV Digital Media Studios. Love coming here. The drive is always wonderful. I love seeing the pelicans flying over Elkhorn Slough as I come into Santa Cruz. So again, I'm always very grateful to come to SantaCruzVoice.com and share this great hour with you. And with me, my guest this morning is a very dear friend of mine who I've known for many years. And it's always been a pleasure to spend time with Raina, and I'm very thrilled and honored to have her as a guest this morning, Miss Raina Venoy. Good morning, Raina.
Good morning, gorgeous. How are you this afternoon?
I'm really great. It's still morning, but I'm doing really great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling good this morning, feeling grateful.
So in our gratitude, listeners, Raina and I, as I mentioned, we met many years ago, and as I remember it, I was a marketing coordinator for Green Jesperson CPAs, which was located in Monterey. And I would go to many of the Monterey Peninsula Chamber of Commerce networking events. They were always a lot of fun. And one of the wonderful people I met was Raina. Raina is a beacon of energy. She's vibrant. She has a great smile, and she just attracts people. So, Raina, tell us what you're up to these days. We'll start forward and move backwards after that introduction.
Okay, well, that's really good. I'm a math person at heart, and I always tell my students, sometimes the best way to solve problems is to start them backwards and start with what you're given. So I love going backwards. That's going to be terrific. Currently, I'm proud to say that I have joined the fight in education, and I'm a teacher at our local Seaside Middle School, which I'm very proud to be at. This is my second year being with students, and in the school district, we only have very few middle schools, and Seaside is definitely one of those gems that should continue to be supported. And what's interesting about this year is that we have become a Title I school, just simply meaning that we're relying on a little bit more resources from the community and donations and things like that, and we can accept more resources to support our school community. Our public schools have always been on the forefront of the community just because resources are so much needed, and it depends on funding and all of those things. So we're really grateful to be a Title I school this year. And there's been some really amazing local partnerships, and I'll talk about those in a second, but I digress. Currently, I teach science to seventh graders, and I also get the privilege of running a food and nutrition course for eighth graders that meets once a week. And I get a chance to flex my culinary skills, which is really exciting. I have some history as chefing in the Navy. And when I left, I wasn't sure how I could pass down those skills. But education, obviously, is one of the great platforms where you can do that most willingly. And it's always widely accepted.
Raina, share with us how you got involved in education.
Oh, my goodness. Education, I swear, has been a part of my life ever since I could tie my shoes. But I guess I could say it's been a long-standing friend. I should say that. Education has been my friend throughout my entire life, being the doorway and the opportunities that you receive. I would say going back, all the way back to daycare. Let me start there, all the way back to daycare.
You're going way back now.
Way back. When my mom was a single hardworking parent looking for an adequate daycare, and she got a chance to enroll me in this place called Operation Shoestring. And this used to be under the tutelage of the late, great Pastor Senior. Reverend Lusk, and he had started this program, probably along with a lot of many other community programs.
So, Raina, not to interrupt, but so you're explaining you're a local woman. You grew up on the peninsula. Explain that. So, when you bring up Reverend Lusk, everybody's reminded that you're speaking right here on our peninsula.
Oh, right here, born and raised. Sorry about that. I was born to military parents, and I've been in Seaside all my life. It is the most important soil underneath my feet, and has done many great things in my life, most definitely. And so Operation Shoestring was a great daycare for parents who were out there working and trying to get things done. And I learned a lot of basic skills there and lots of social relationships. But what really stood out were the teachers and the counselors there that were mentoring young children and watching over them and teaching us just basic values, basic nutrition, things that may sometimes be missing.
And as a youngster, Raina, what do you feel it was about these educators, these counselors? What do you feel as a young person? What attracted you to them?
Oh, well, just the community themselves, right? These were real people that we knew who were local, who lived in our communities, who taught in our schools, shopped at our grocery stores, who attended our churches. So it was about the connection, right? The close and family connection that you had with these educators. They were here in our communities giving back in their respective communities. Right. And that's what really stood out, right? And so I guess fast forwarding, if I can jump forward, yes. It's one of the grateful things to be here, born and raised, right? Got out there, got educated, and I get to come back to my town and give back to my middle school. So it really means so much to come full circle and be here.
And as you worked your way into your present profession, speak a little bit, Raina, about working as a chef.
Oh, my goodness. Probably one of my most heartfelt things. I had an opportunity to chef in the Navy, which is probably one of the most efficient places that you can learn to chef. And it was a interesting way how I got there. I actually was a caregiver for preschool children in the Navy's family program. And what it was we were handling mostly all aspects of young children, ages kinder through maybe fifth, year 5, mm-hmm. right? The first 5 in the campaign for education, right? And what was really nice about being a caregiver was we handled every aspect of the children's day. You know, their parents trust them and they drop them off and they go off to their respective jobs. And we're with these children pretty much all day. So it's a 9 to 5 thing. And one of the things that's really great about it was that we had the opportunity to also participate in their meal process, preparation and dissemination and, nap times. So some of the nurturing parts of, their education and their experiences in their world, just making sure that those things and those needs are being met. And mealtime was an educated time. We were sitting down and talking to students about sharing and nutrition and why it was good to eat your vegetables.
Yeah, and there's a lot of communication during, as you're saying, during the meal time. Like we used to have, there was a lot of communication when you ate. And of course we didn't have technology or so many things to distract us. So communication was very important.
Right. Most definitely. I totally agree. Right. Even in our respective homes now, education at the dinner table is really huge. And communication at the dinner table is the one place where you could get all your kids and family together and usually get them to spill their guts about the day.
Right. And talk about school and talk about their classes. Right.
And gather intel. And that's the time where you get to know everyone and get to know the children. And it's a wonderful time. It's a very fruitful time, especially if you're taking care of students and things like that.
In your food preparation in your days with the Navy, and what were the quantity of food you were preparing for how many soldiers and women? Talk about some of those stories.
Oh, man. So the Navy Postgraduate School, right, they had this kitchen and it was a very upgraded standard kitchen. And we lived in the basement, but it was a very big basement. It had a loading dock, and the main kitchen consisted of several freezers and refrigerators. And some of those were built on what we call the hot line, which was where a lot of our main feeding came from. And we were responsible for the local Navy bar that was run there, where all retired Navy and active duty officers would come in and grab a bite. And they had a pretty good standard kitchen menu, some plated items like a salmon dinner and
nice.
salmon dinner, or buffalo wings and pasta. So we did pretty good there. And that was open probably 5 to 6 days a week. The other thing the Navy did was they did wedding contracts, right? We were in this historical place where they had the grand ballroom. It was a beautiful place for people who wanted to get married and have these huge ceremonies. And it was also a large hosting place for our military personnel, right? All different branches. And they would come together for, military balls and special dinners. And the numbers would be, they would range anywhere from 500 to 1,000 people. And so it was actually miraculous, to say the least, how this one kitchen would produce meals for not only wedding contracts, but special events. Also run the bar, and then even smaller, get-togethers, including staff, and would range, a multitude of events. And we had a lot of independent contractors. We had people from the community, and we also had wonderful partnerships, just like at our school, where people were participating and partnering with the Navy to cater large, elaborate events and, really impress the higher ups, and, but as well as the personnel, honoring them for their sacrifice, for our branches, because they do a lot. They do a lot, Bettina.
Yes. Yes. And you do a lot, Raina. You've always been you're a go-getter. You're enthusiastic. And as I was sharing, then the many years that I've known you in your career of searching through different occupations and sharing your education in your different occupations and your love of people, I am quite proud and impressed, again, Raina, that you ended up at this stage in your life teaching. Raina is a mother. She has a fantastic young son, Elijah, and a wonderful mother. So it doesn't, of course, surprise me that you're a very popular teacher, I hear, Elijah, as well as you were sharing how popular you are at Seaside Middle School. Share with us, Raina, how is it being a teacher and knowing that you're inspiring, as well as, of course, educating these young minds?
Oh, my goodness, you flatter me so much. It's a blessing. If I could sum it up in anything, it's just a wonderful blessing to connect with the future young minds that are happening now. When you and I were growing up, Bettina, in the 2000s, we didn't have.
I'm older than you, Raina. But thank you.
But
thank you, sweetie.
Not by much.
Okay.
It's an era,
Okay, we'll leave it at that. But as you were growing up, I think by definition I was grown. But anyway, go ahead.
In those times, we never the amount of technology and the way that these young people are able to view their world and participate in it is just eons beyond anything I can ever imagine. And so it was really interesting when I enrolled last year, the learning curve with the technology and the software programming. So I had to catch up with education's technology, and then I could disseminate lessons and things like that. But
technology is something to really keep caught up with, isn't it? Technology. I was having some technical difficulties here on the buzz, but again, thank you, Bill Wolverton, by the way, for making sure that Bettina's buzz aired this morning. I appreciate everybody here at Santa Cruz Voice. But yes, go ahead, Raina. Technology in the schools, yes. You have to.
Oh no! And so it was really interesting, to be with your cohort of classes and understand that the students knew more about programming than you did. It was a very humbling experience, but I got a chance to elevate that education side. My son is really well versed in it, so he was there to guide me, and I appreciate his support.
Isn't
he
it
was
wonderful when our children help us with technology? That's what my daughter's in Hawaii. She's in traveling and having vacation. I can't wait till she comes back to help me with my technology. Speaking of Podbean, SantaCruzVoice.com and Podbean, we love it. So.
No, I think it's fantastic. So what I did was I accepted the fact that I needed to humble myself and learn, right? Just continuing that education and learn. And when I got the hang of it, it became a very useful tool, and it allowed me to teach multiple sections and also create a lot of lesson planning very quickly. And so those were one of the things where it became an ally for teachers, and digitizing the educational experience is actually something that's wonderful, because what it does is it helps more students and more people become educated in their multifacets of life. We are such movers and we're such busy human beings now, as opposed to 20 or 30 years ago. And so the mobile technology helps us catch up with each other and keep up with each other, to say the least, keeping up with my students. So I'm very grateful for that type of education. And I never stop learning. That's the beauty of it, Bettina. Never stop learning. I take time to perfect the use of software programs, especially for education. You wouldn't believe the types of programs that are out there for education, just, for every, for every subject matter. Science, they have, for example, this platform called STEM Scopes, where it's really great. It gives you a standards-based curriculum that is meant for every grade level. They even give you examples of how to disseminate experiments. They ship you the materials you need. They give you slides and videos and streaming. And one of the greatest things I've ever taken advantage of is the fact that you can assign all of this stuff straight to your students, straight to their computers, and they can click on it. And
with a magical click.
It's amazing. It's amazing, Bettina. I go back to the days of where we had mounds of pages and we spent hours at the copier.
Yes.
And still trying to draft things from scratch, but you don't need that anymore. It's really remarkable, I have to say.
It is. Well, we're going to take a quick break here on Bettina's Buzz. We're talking with Miss Raina Venoy this morning on SantaCruzVoice.com, and we'll be right back.
Football at the Back Nine is back. We have Sunday ticket to enjoy every game, every Sunday. Breakfast sandwich and beverage specials too. Enjoy happy hour twice on Sunday from 10 to 12 and 3 to 6. Dollar wings all day Sunday and during Monday and Thursday night games as well. With the easiest restaurant to get to in the county, right off Pasatiempo Drive with lots of parking. Time to eat and watch football. See you at the 9.
Deer fins, wood fins, livestock, chain link, vinyl, iron fins, Cypress Coast Fence, Cypress Coast Fence.
My name is Stephen Digger. My wife and I live in Royal Oak. When my wife and I were looking to find someone to build our fence, Cypress Coast Fence was highly recommended. It was amazing. These folks are masters at their craft. They're super professional. They came in when they said they were going to come in. They finished when they said they were going to finish. The fence is perfect for our needs, everything they said it was going to be, and then some.
Give us a call for your no-obligation consultation at 831-783-1500 or at cypresscoastfence.com.
We don't just build fences, we make good neighbors.
Deer fins, wood fins, livestock, chain link, vinyl, iron fins, Cypress Coast Fence, Cypress Coast Fence.
The IRS is knocking on the door because you owe back taxes. Don't panic. Call the tax doctor for free help getting out of IRS collections and back into the good graces of Uncle Sam. The tax doctor service is free, and all you need to do is call 800-817-2871. That's 800-817-2871. Get free help. Call 800-817-2871. 2871.
Welcome back to Bettina's Buzz here on SantaCruzVoice.com. And with me on the line, I have Raina Venoy. Hi, Raina. Are you still there?
Oh, yes, Bettina, I'm sorry. I ran to heat up my coffee.
Coffee's important.
I'd never abandon you, dear.
Oh, no. What coffee? Yeah. I'm going to have some as soon as I'm done. As soon as I'm done here. I don't think I need much coffee before. But anyway, Raina, and thank you again for being on SantaCruzVoice.com this morning. So we were talking again, listeners. Raina is a teacher at Seaside Middle School. They are in Seaside, wonderful Seaside, California, just down the street here. And we were talking about technology and young people, Raina.
Oh, yes. And so just the amazing things that technology does for education.
And we learn a lot from children.
Oh, my goodness. That's the beauty of it. My students teach me something every day, and not only just about academics or technology, but just about teaching in general, about where they come from, the needs that they have now as opposed to 10 or 20 years ago. And our young people are definitely dealing with lots of challenges, and it's really interesting to find out some of the social constructs that they have to grapple with on their daily lives, but they still manage to come and sit in their seats, and they really are eager to receive an education. And so I just want to say, shout out to our young people. They are very motivated, extremely talented, and just wonderful to be around. They keep me inspired every day.
And I agree with you, Raina, that young people, when motivated by people such as you, are very motivated. And I think as a parent and as someone who, like many of us, have favorite teachers, we all have favorite teachers, and they had a way of motivating us and making us thrilled to go to school and encouraging us to learn. So how do you do those things, Raina?
Right. I think it starts with the connections, right? Just like we were talking about with Operation Shoestring. I'm lucky and fortunate, Bettina, because I'm able to have many connections with students. It's so funny. I've inherited a generation of students whose parents I had attended high school with, or whose parents that I've coached basketball with, or whose parents that I attend church with, or I've served in some aspect in the community. And so these connections, I'm lucky, become easy to me because students will recognize either my voice or my face, or they'll recognize me in some venue where I've done some service. And they're like, oh, yeah, we remember you. My mom and dad would say this. And even though it would make me feel dated, I was really proud that they would recognize me. And it seemed to give them great comfort and peace. And those were the big things about those connections. And I think it was important, like, for example, and I don't want to put her on blast, but she's such a beautiful young lady, and her name is Michaela. And Michaela,
you can say her last name, Michaela. Unless you can't remember. Well, Michaela, okay.
Right. Maybe I shouldn't mention her last name, but Michaela, one of my students, Michaela, she's just so brilliant and loving, and she has a brother as well. And I had the privilege of teaching her last year. And we also connected in the church community. And so I think it was really an eye-opening experience to know that I was a community leader. And she got to see me in two different facets, not only in the house of worship, but also in the classroom. And her brother now attends my food and nutrition course. And it's so cute. She'll come to class and check on him and see how he's doing. Like, is my brother behaving in your class? Because if he's not, and I just laugh at it. And it makes me smile to know that young people are looking after one another and just making sure that there's a level of respect and that they have for each other and myself. And it's just a wonderful thing. The other way that I connect with students is I see them outside of the classroom. They're living their lives. They're attending the county fair. They're doing community service. And sometimes I just see them down on the grocery aisle, picking out lettuce. And I don't hesitate to reach out and talk to them, because that's what my teachers did for me when I was young. They never stopped connecting and saying hello, and those were wonderful things. And then last but not least, believe it or not, the things that the school provides to help us connect with our young people, their families, and our communities are those back to school nights and those open houses. Those are the moments that we shouldn't take for granted. I remember when I was younger, my mother worked a lot, and I think she definitely cared about connecting with the school community more, but she didn't have time to make those guest appearances. And so now that my son is grown, well, not grown, but much bigger and older, I always vowed.
He's 11.
He's 11 years old, Bettina.
Yes.
Growing. And, I always vowed to, be that parent to attend and make those connections with the teachers, because it just makes for easier conversations down the line in the academic school year. And so for myself, I never hesitate to take advantage of those moments, because those are the moments that really stand out for parents. And then it makes it much easier to communicate if our students are struggling throughout the year academically, or if we want to introduce some opportunities to them. It's so great because we've already broken the ice and, met beforehand. So it makes it easy to have that type of dialogue. And I'm grateful for that.
And parents, as you speak on that, Raina, parents who perhaps, because they're working hard, say they are parents who can't come to the back to school nights or the PTA meetings that many parents do try to be involved in, to see a teacher such as you, again, as you speak on, that you're out in the community a lot and they see your face and they get to see who their child is going to school with, and that bond that they have with their teacher. So that's a very reassuring thing to parents. So that's a very important thing, which of course, Raina, I know you know, as well as you speak on technology these days, parents can reach out to their children's instructors so easily through the technology of email, to reach out, like on the Seaside Middle School website. There you are, Raina. I was about to just send you an email and say, hey, Raina.
No, I think, you bring up an excellent point, Bettina. And once again, technology is also helping parents, and parent communication is huge. Being a parent myself, the foundations of it really, sing multitudes. And what I love, for example, one of the big things we have is a parent square. And this is like a great platform that
Parent Square.
Parent Square. It's a very helpful dissemination tool for parents, and the district, I think it's used district wide. And we get on this website and platform, let me say as a teacher, and we're able to compose messages directly to communities, directly to classrooms. We can go to individual students and parents, or the parents of, and compose newsletter posts, straight messages to parents' phones if they have added the right contact information and things like that. And it's widely used throughout the district, and parents love it. And I have to say, as a parent, it has been a great communication tool, as opposed to parents, back in the day having to call and schedule an appointment. And we have such busy, hardworking parents that they may not always be able to physically be there, but Parent Square definitely does the trick. And we also have our district newsletter that is sent out by our administration religiously and faithfully, as well as other blips in the newsreel that parents get straight through their cell phones or through their electronic email box. And it really helps out a lot. And like, for example, I get alerts for my son every week, sometimes directly from their teachers, or I get them from their local PTA that talks about events, things that parents should tune into, participate in. I mean, right down into when they're going to receive their work folders or report cards. And so I think technology in this case, especially for parents, has really done wonders for them, because unfortunately, Bettina, their roles haven't changed. They've only expanded and become increasingly more complex. So I'm glad that we have some technology that helps with that.
Raina, what was it like the first time you stood in front of your class?
Oh my goodness. Man, let's see. Let me go back to last year. This will be hilarious. So at that time, I had come into the middle of the school year. It was really tough. I kind of jumped right out of the frying pan into the fire. There was a great need for teachers at this particular time. And some teachers were transitioning out because they were a part of our military community. So they didn't really have a say in which, when they had to exit. And I was fortunate to fall into the substitution pool at a time when there was a great need, and Seaside Middle had popped up as one of the schools needing an assignment for the day. And I went in there, and I wasn't sure, honestly. I think I didn't know what class I was going to be into, but a voice inside my head said, just be brave. You can do this. This is teaching. This is students. You know this. Just get in there and do your best. And so I was assigned keys and, instructions from the former teacher. And I came into the classroom, and it was so funny. Students were in there, being students. And as soon as I walked into the room, it just became completely silent. They had never seen, I stand pretty tall, right, Bettina? I'm about 5'9".
Yes,
and,
she's very tall.
I have
basketball
a
player.
Right. I have a heavy walk. I have quite a presence, I have to say. I have a very strong presence in the classroom.
A wonderful
here
presence.
I am coming in with this, this suit and these dreads and, and I'm carrying, quite a few things. I have like the syllabus and, maybe half a computer and my lunch and like all of these things. And I come and sit down as if I had been there all along. And so the students were very shocked. And I just introduced myself and I said, listen, I'm going to be your sub for today. And then I just decided to greet them with the type of enthusiasm that I had. And I was really honest with them. And I said, hey, we're going to learn some math today, believe it or not. And I enjoy doing what I do and I look forward to it. So I said, this class can be a wonderful class where we pick up some skills and do well, or this can be a class where, we're challenged, by the unknowns and, our comfort. And so the students, they kind of went with it. They were like, oh, okay. Right. It seems like she means business. And so I just went to, I followed the instructions on the syllabus. And what I love to do, Bettina, is something at heart is just, go around and tutor. So even though they had independent practice and they were maybe working on a worksheet or something in math, I went around to check for understanding. That's a big thing for teachers. So you've got to check for understanding. Then I went around to see how they were grasping the material. And a lot of them were doing really well. And then some of them had some great questions. And I was really enthusiastic about, answering those questions and helping them find answers to those questions. And I think after that, they were like, hey, we like this sub. And so what was really cool about that is
we like Raina. That's what
I think
we like
they decided
her
in their head that they liked me. So the great thing was if you do well, they will ask you back. And so what happened was I continuously got asked back to sub. And that's how I started, a much stronger bond with the community, which was really, really electrifying and amazing.
And what's amazing to you, Raina, when you see, for example, in the beginning of a class, a student may be struggling with something that you're teaching. And then as you're going around and when things start to click with them, how does that feel?
Oh my goodness. It feels good. Like, for example, I went and I subbed in a class one day where students were learning geometry. And it was one of those things where they were learning about supplemental angles, which simply means that the vertices inside the shape or inside the geometric shape, those angles should equal up to 180 degrees. And some students did not put together the know-how that these particular angles were special. And so when I explained that lesson to them, they had this epiphany moment, that's what I call it, where it clicks in their head. And usually you get an, oh my gosh, this type of thing where the student's face lights up because their mental brain has got another crinkle, especially in the math sector. And that always makes me overjoyed and invigorated. So I tell students, I live for that epiphany. And it's just a really wonderful thing to see. It's one of the great parts about teaching.
That's wonderful. We're going to take another short break here, Raina, on Bettina's Buzz. And everyone, we'll be right back.
Attention content producers. You can have access to a complete digital media production facility at Satellite Co-working and Digital Media Studio on Soquel Avenue. Easily rent video and audio equipment, a studio with green screen, editing suite, and audio booth, all at can't say no rates. Schedule a tour to see for yourself at satellitecoworking.com. Mention Santa Cruz Voice for 20% off your first reservation.
Hey, Warren, it's been a while since I've been up to your showroom and garden center in Scotts Valley. Maybe the folks out there might want to know where you are.
Absolutely. To find Knox Roofing and the Knox Garden Box Company, just head up into beautiful Scotts Valley. We're at 46 El Pueblo Road, next door to Scarborough Lumber and the beautiful nursery. And when it comes to wood items, we have It's All About Wood gift shop. And, of course, the Knox Garden Box. Lots to look at. We'd love to see you at Knox Roofing and the Knox Garden Box store. Okay, thanks, folks.
The Hook is California's first ever cannabis outlet. 100% locally owned and operated, we're here to be your friendly neighborhood hookup. We believe that everyone should have access to fairly priced cannabis. So we work hard to get it to you for 30 to 50% less than the other guys. If you're 21 or older with a valid ID, visit us in Capitola or in Watsonville today. We're here to be your friendly neighborhood hookup. Check out our website, hookoutlet.com, for deals and stay groovy.
When you need help managing the legal affairs of your family, call on the Angel.
Hello, I am attorney Angel Hess, and I am ready to help. Whether you need a prenuptial agreement or divorce settlement, need child or spousal support, or are facing custody issues or visitation rights, I will help you. I have more than 7 years' experience as a family law attorney.
When you need help, call on the Angel. Attorney Angel L. Hess at santacruzlegal.net.
Welcome back to Bettina's Buzz here on santacruzvoice.com. And a special aloha, Raina. Thank you for being with us. A special shout out to Serna and Jalen. A special aloha to Oahu. And they might be in Waikiki right now, but my number one fan is in Oahu. So aloha, and santacruzvoice.com is everywhere. And we're local first, but we are everywhere. In this beautiful world of technology where we can be almost everywhere. Right, Raina?
Yes. Oh, shout out to the beautiful Serna. She's so lovely.
And Jalen. Shout out to Jalen. What a wonderful opportunity they had. So
my goodness.
It's great to have friends and connections here on the peninsula, right?
I love it.
So teaching young people and being a mother, especially being a mother, Raina, is there anything more special?
No, I say family is really the way to go if you have the opportunity. It just, one thing, shout out to all the mothers out there in the world, Amen. No matter where you are. Yes. I would be nowhere without my mother, and I'm very lucky. She's a supportive mother. She's a loving mother. She's a diligent mother, sacrificing. Even now, for her beloved grandson who can do no wrong.
Of course he can.
And I just, but I tell you, Bettina, a lot of the success that I can attribute to in my life is because I had a strong, loving mother, And so to all the mothers out there, continue to do what you're doing. Your labor is not in vain. You are a blessing in this world.
Yes,
and for
so true.
whoever you take under your wing, I want you to know that we are grateful because we can't do it alone, and we have to have our mothers.
We can't do it alone. My mother is vital to me, even after all these 65 years. I'm proud to say it. Yes, 65.
Oh,
it's a badge of honor. Believe
what a
me.
blessing.
Yes, thank you. But in that, Raina, your wonderful son, Elijah, who I've seen since maybe I've known him since he was 4 or 5,
right? Yes.
And see him grow into the tall young man. As I met you, I met Raina and Elijah at the Breakfast Club there in Seaside, a great place to have breakfast, the Breakfast Club, and I was greeted with their smiling faces and a beautiful bouquet of balloons. And Breakfast Club always has very nice service, smiling people. But speak a little bit about your wonderful son, because I know, like you, Raina, he fell in love with the sport of basketball, and he's doing extremely well.
Oh my gosh, Bettina, my darling son, the light of my world. He came into my life in January of 2013 and has been just a beacon of hope, not only for me, but for other young people. And I'm just so proud of his leadership and his compassion and all the things. And sometimes I look at him, I'm just like, I can't believe I made you. This is amazing.
I can. But go ahead.
But he is, I'm so glad to have him in my life. I wasn't even sure if I would have children, because I had him a little later in life, like in my 30s. And not that it would change anything, but he came at a time where I wasn't sure if I was going to have children, so I call him my miracle baby. And I'm so proud of him, his leadership. When teachers speak about him, all they ever say is what a wonderful person he is, and why didn't I duplicate him more? And so it's a flattering thing to hear as a mom. But Elijah he's athletic and sweet and loves math. And he's just been the light of my world. And when I was growing up in high school, I had quite an impressive basketball career. And to see him take that up for me is kind of like a proud father-son moment, except I'm the mom. And it means a lot. And we've been traveling together. We joined this additional league, and it was under the tutelage of Mark Kirkland and some other wonderful coaches, again, living in our community. And these were wonderful men, wonderful male role models in our community who took all these boys in grade levels all the way from young, like I guess whatever the youngest league that they could start in, and just by age group. And he started when he was about 9 or 10. Now, he picked up a basketball about maybe age 5 or 6, but
one just happened to be lying around the house, right? For him.
Right, everywhere. He has about 10 of them now. I trip over him every time I'm cleaning, but he happened to pick it up at that time, and so I wanted to nurture it. And he actually joined a small little league with the Navy. When I was in the Navy, they had a youth program, and so I enrolled him in the youth program. And there was a wonderful coach there. And the kids got together and they just shot and played. And we went to see a game one day. And I'll never forget it. We were sitting on the bleachers and I was talking to my friend at the time. And her son was on the league. And we were all chitter-chatting. And all of a sudden, my son shot this really long shot from it seemed like it was almost half court, which it was just crazy. And he busted this shot, Bettina. And I mean, again, the gym fell completely silent, and everybody was like, well, whose kid is that? And I looked and I said, that's my son.
That's my son.
So loud. And I just said, you know what? I think his basketball career is born. And ever since then, Bettina, we have been jointed at the hip, practicing at my old courts. And, he just eats, sleeps, and dreams basketball. And he just recently went through a Vegas league over the summer and the National Classics, and his team, they're called Seaside's Finest. And the finest they are. They're a great group of young
They
men.
are a wonderful group of young men, yes.
They do. They represent the community, and they're really great boys. And they're literally they became third in the league in the national classics this year, which is a very rare thing.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's great.
Just to attest to the types of coaches that they had. And Elijah had a wonderful game. His last game in Vegas, he had scored 19 points. He had 16 rebounds and 7 assists. And I just thought to myself, yes, that's genetics at work.
That is, that's right. That's genetics. And I know I could just hear you screaming with pride on the stands now, because we know that was a game. Those are games.
Oh, my goodness.
To be anywhere around Raina, there's a lot of fun and good energy going on. So I could just imagine you cheering for the team there, Raina. So that must make you excruciatingly proud.
Oh, my gosh. Reliving these glory days, Bettina, I swear they take me back. And it just feels so good to do something where we have a connection together that should, it'll never be broken. And we have these wonderful memories that we get to share together. And he brings me to tears. He doesn't know it, but he brings me to tears pretty much almost every day I see him.
He will know. He'll know now because it's...
He's a wonderful, wonderful young man. And I'm just glad that he's, I'm just, as a mother, it's just amazing to witness, this thing, this phenomenon.
It is a beautiful thing, Raina, and you should be extremely proud of your son. And you also proud of a lot of the work that you do in the community. I know you've been involved with helping to feed the homeless.
Oh, yes. I definitely should highlight church. So I attend Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. It's located on 390 Elm Street here in Seaside, across from Googie Grill, and probably a neighboring Starbucks because they're everywhere, right? And this church has had such a colorful history. I mean, dating back to, the 70s, probably the 60s again. And right now, we're under Pastor Lusk. He's the third generation pastor there, and he's wonderful. He's been just carrying on his father's legacy. And not only that, but institutionalizing one of his own. And he's been, he was actually recently honored not too long ago. Matter of fact, I think it was this past Tuesday, for an award called Boots on the Ground, which is highlighting a lot of key people in our Seaside community that have just, dedicated tirelessly love and resources and support to the community around us. Believe it or not, Bettina, a lot of our families, students, and people in the community are, they're facing hunger. They're, they're trying to survive the brunt of inflation. Many of them are losing their homes. And so this time of year is a very special time of year where we really open our doors and we pour out, the love of God, whatever we have in our pantries, and simply whatever support we can give to community, because people are out there, they need it and they're hurting. And we ourselves, who are a part of the church community, also band together to support one another, because we too are facing some of the same challenges as the people in the community we serve. So I'm very proud to serve in this community with the church, and we run a feeding program every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I believe, and have consistently been doing numbers, maybe close to 600 a week.
And that's huge, Raina. That's amazing.
Yeah,
really,
it could be more.
3 days a week. Correct? You said 3 days a week?
Yeah, 3 days a week. And we have a feeding program. And what it does is we will prepare a meal. We prepare a hot meal from whatever comes from our local food banks. So our food banks are contributing to this, like Monterey County Food Bank, and whatever they have to give. And our local partnerships that our pastor has worked hard to keep those connections. And we do two things. We provide a hot meal, and then in addition to that, we provide produce, eggs, milk, dairy, and we even also have clothing exchange programs and things like that, because our pastor is a man who believes that you should benefit from the resources in the community. And that's what churches are here to do, is serve. We're glad to be of service, he would always say. And so I think let me get these hours right. I think our doors open about maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock. And they go until about 6 or until food maybe runs out. And people can come straight to the church right through the doors and pick up a hot meal, pick up produce, and they can come at any time. And then Thursday, the hours are the same. And then Saturday, the hours are a little earlier. I believe they're like maybe a 10 to 2 window or something to that effect. And I apologize in advance, Pastor, if you're out there, if I'm getting those hours wrong, but I know the days are right. And he's been doing this tirelessly. This program has been going on for a long time. I've had the opportunity to participate when he needs chefs, when he needs cooks. I have no problem, getting in the kitchen and producing 150 meals or so. And then what's wonderful is that another community leader who was there, Muhammad, he is a wonderful person that's also connected with Pastor, and he'll come in and take whatever meals are left, and then he will deliver those meals to, the neighboring programs or services where, the elderly, they may not be able to get up and come physically to the church. So we deliver meals to, other places. What do I want to say? The type of retirement communities. That's the word I'm looking for. Right. Where students, where our elderly can receive a hot meal and resources, in their respective places. And so I really commend our pastor. He's he leads with love, and it seems to be a cup that continues to runneth over. And, he's a man after our own heart. And we're really grateful to have him in the community and any church in the community, because there are churches, especially in our communities, really do a lot of that legwork, and they don't ask for anything in return. They don't ask for anything in return.
Well, because we know, like many of us, like people like you, Raina, and those people who work tirelessly like you do. And thank you so much, Raina, for helping so many people. And it's not only the food. We know that people get the love of other people and feel a sense of belonging, and that there are people that love and care for you, and they get to see a smiling face like yours and get love that is needed, because love is truly needed. And so those are beautiful things that you do, giving back to the community and all the ways that you do, Raina. And as we get to the end of Bettina's Buzz, I'm diligently counting down with love the minutes. I want to thank you very much for taking the time during your fall break and in between still you're busy working, I know, working on your lesson plannings, to be with us here on SantaCruzVoice.com on your Saturday morning. So thank you very much, Raina.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Bettina. What a wonderful time I've had. And I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you as a friend. The love is endless, and I'm so grateful.
And I'm so grateful for you. And I truly hope you have a great day, as I hope all our listeners continue to have a great day. Raina, be sure to give Elijah a hug for me, and Tamika a kiss on the cheek for me, and tell your mom I love them. And you keep doing the good deeds that you're doing, and we'll continue to pray for peace and love. And again, I hope everybody has a great Saturday. Aloha to my sweet Serna. I look forward to picking you up tomorrow, you and Jalen. So enjoy this beautiful sun. Coming up after me, we've got Michael Jacoby. He'll be in the studio raising the standards. Again, thank you, Mr. Bill Wolverton, for coming in this morning and making sure that Bettina's Buzz and my good friend aired great and everything worked perfect. Thank you very much. Again, have a great day. Bye, Raina. Have a good day. All your students have so much to look forward to. And again, everyone pray for peace. Enjoy the day. And I'll see you next time on Bettina's Buzz.